Coming up in the news, civil aviation investigating a fatal crash in waters off Grants Key. National Pride Day celebrated in honor of independence. And the Ministry of Tourism's Gumbe Summer Festival officially underway.
The Bahamas Tonight Northern Edition starts now.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Megan Shepard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Topping news tonight, civil aviation investigations in the Abaco Coast today, investigating a fatal crash. American billionaire and developer of Big Grand Key, Chris Klein, and a party of 6 all perished when his helicopter went down in waters off Grand Key. The victims' remains were brought to Grand Bahama last night. RJ Philippe is standing by live now with the latest.
Thank you, Megan. I'm presently here at the Rand Memorial Hospital, where I can confirm that the 7 bodies were transported here approximately around 1 a.m. this morning. So far, there's been a lot of international media that has been reaching out to Grand Bahamans as it relates to the latest updates. I can confirm that around 2 p.m. today, the 7 bodies were transported from Freeport to Nassau, the nation's capital, where a full autopsy will be done. A group of curious onlookers were standing by as the bodies of 7 crash victims arrived on Grand Bahama around 1 o'clock Friday morning. The police marine unit transporting the body of American billionaire and coal tycoon Chris Klein, his daughter, and 5 others, believed to be 2 pilots and 3 of the daughter's female friends. They were all on board Klein's helicopter when it went down shortly after takeoff around 2 a.m. Thursday morning. The bodies were taken to the Police Marine Division, handed over to local morticians, and then transported to the Rand Memorial Hospital. Reports say the helicopter was en route to Fort Lauderdale on a medical emergency mission when it crashed in about 16 feet of water off Grand Key. Chief Counselor Rosie Curry says that words can't express the absolute sorrow and disbelief at this time.
The helicopter came in during the course of the night and went back out. There were persons who heard some, like a noise, but were not sure that there was a crash until late this afternoon. Then they heard that the chopper did not make it back to Florida, and it did not come back to base at Big Grand Key. And then at that time, they sent out quite a few boats out for search. And upon the search, they found it was about 2 miles right off the shoreline where he lives. But all persons were still strapped into the helicopter. And I think the helicopter was upside down.
Klein purchased Big Grand Key about 3 years ago and was in the process of developing the property. Curry says since then, Klein has been a close friend of the Bahamas and the people of the Abacos.
Like, he was an excellent guy. He was a down-to-earth person. He would come over and he would visit, he would talk, and he was not one of those, because of his position, would put people behind him. He would stay in front and he would carry the load. So he's going to be a real missing. I don't know what is going to happen now, but we just hope that I believe that he still have two sons. I don't think they were on the aircraft. And maybe they would decide to continue to carry on. But we just got to hope for the best. I think he was sort of a lifeline. You know, it was just like a well started spring for this community. A lot of people really depend on him, and he's been a great deal of benefit. He has put Grand Key back on the rebound again. And this is going to be a real big setback.
This tragedy at sea has certainly saddened the entire community of Grand Key. Also to mention, today would have been the 61st birthday of Chris Klein. Back to you in studio, Megan.
Thanks, Jay. Now, as more information becomes available, we will be sure to provide those details. An American visitor attacked by a shark in waters off Abaco yesterday. Police say around 5:30 p.m., officers in GUANA Key were advised of a shark bite incident involving a 32-year-old man from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. The victim was on board a 41-foot Bahama craft along with 2 other Americans snorkeling in waters off Nippers Beach in GUANA Key when he was bitten by a shark. Officers and EMS personnel in Marsh Harbor met the injured man at the Marsh Harbor dock. He was taken to the clinic, treated by doctors, and later airlifted to the nation's capital for further medical attention. It is National Pride Day, a big celebration of Bahamian patriotism as the country approaches its 46th anniversary of independence. Here on Grand Bahama, 3 flag-raising ceremonies taking place throughout the island, reenacting the first Bahamian Independence Day. We have team coverage beginning with the ceremony in Freeport. Residents throughout the Freeport area gathering at the Harold de Gregory complex for the annual flag-raising ceremony. Residents were treated to Bahamian music thanks to the world-famous Royal Bahamas Police Pop Band and to traditional Bahamian dance by the Backyard Dancers. Island Administrator for the City of Freeport, Don Cornish, welcoming attendees.
The Grand Bahama Independence Committee worked hard this year to ensure that we started our celebrations of our 46th birthday in a way that was meaningful, impactful, and would bring people together. Last year, this event did not attract the cross-section of persons that we wanted. We didn't have as many children as we see now, and we also wanted something that was enjoyable, not only in terms of its ceremonial aspect.
Member of Parliament for Marco City, the Honorable Michael Pintard, reminding Bahamians that this is indeed the greatest little country in the world. He says that although this country may face its share of challenges, citizens must continue to seize the available opportunities and to continue to shine on the world stage.
Let us continue to be proud of who we are and to seize the opportunities that face us as a country. When we celebrate 5 years from now, we should be able to say that a greater portion of the economy of the Bahamas is owned by Bahamians. We should be able to say that whatever sporting disciplines that we participate in, that Bahamians are continuing to punch above their weight on the international stage. We should also be able to say at the world tables where we sit down to negotiate international agreements that the Bahamian voice, though representing 450,000 people, is as strong, as potent, as relevant as any other voice from anywhere else in the world.
Acting Prime Minister and Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, the Honorable K. Peter Turnquist, delivering a message of love and unity for all Bahamians. He says that while there is much to lament in the country, and while there may be much dissatisfaction, especially on Grand Bahama, there is so much more to celebrate.
I believe, however, that we have so much more to celebrate than we have to lament. And particularly during this period when we celebrate what it means to be Bahamian, the freedom, the successes and achievements of the people, the enviable, peaceful environment that God has blessed us with. The fact that we can celebrate our religion, our political persuasion, our association, without fear of any kind of persecution. There's so much that we have to celebrate.
The Bahamian flag was then hoisted to the sounds of the country's national anthem as residents looked on, filled with national pride.
Scores of residents turning out for the flag-raising ceremony held directly outside the administrator's office in West End. Now, residents reflected on the fact that back in 1973, the Bahamian flag was first raised in West End here on Grand Bahama. Now, residents had an opportunity to hear from the administrator for the area, Christian Palacios, who focused on the theme, United We Stand Bahamas, Together We Can.
West Grand Bahama, you have endured and demonstrated resilience through hurricanes and economic hardship. Yet your faith in the godly principles which our nation was founded on was not faltered. Despite the challenges and setbacks West Grand Bahama has faced over the years, one thing remains the same: its potential. West Grand Bahama, can I tell you today that the future of Grand Bahama is in the West?
President of the Senate, the Honorable Catherine Forbes Smith, also bringing remarks. She says there's a constant discussion about the progress of the country and what has been achieved in the last 46 years.
Some may feel that a strong dollar and continued international relationships with our counterparts globally is progress, while others may consider advancement in technology as a sign that our country is finally caught up with the rest of the world. Whatever the true meaning of progress is and by what measuring stick we use, one thing for sure, we can only advance as a nation when people are unified with one common purpose.
And for leaders in the community, the Senate leader says you must lead with purpose, honesty, and civility.
If you call yourself a leader in the church, a leader in school, a leader in your home, a leader in business, a political leader, whether red, yellow, or green, we must change the conversation in the best interests of this country. That's why I believe we will not accomplish what we would like, and we will not advance as much as we would like until all Bahamians come together and decide, I want the very best for this Bahama land.
Bishop Roosevelt Roll says the Bahamas is indeed a blessed nation.
We have good reason to give thanks and praise for God's deliverance, hallelujah, in times like these. Such a powerful God deserves our praise. He is worthy of our trust. Let the people praise thee, O God.
The flag was officially raised at 10 a.m. Now, overall, it was a grand celebration here in West Grand Bahama. Now, residents were reminded that as the Bahamas prepares to celebrate 46 years of independence, Bahamians must unite and stick together as one. We now go to our Jamila Mizik in East Grand Bahama.
Thank you, Italia. Well, here in East Grand Bahama, residents gathered at the Administrator's Office grounds in High Rock. Chairperson of the Independence Committee, Senator the Honorable Jasmine Darius, telling residents that when she thinks of the spirit of excellence, many notable Bahamians come to mind.
When I think of excellence, I'm reminded of athletic excellence, of Shonda Miller-Weebo, who is at the top of her game around the globe. She is a Bahamian. When I think of artistic excellence, I'm reminded of Mr. Jamal Roll, who is a global phenomenon in the artist area. When I think about basketball excellence, I think of Mr. Buddy Hield, who is a Grand Bahamian. When I think of acting excellence, I think of Sir Sidney Poitier, a Cat Islander.
Senator the Honorable Jasmine Darius acknowledging that the nation as a whole has made great strides in becoming a prosperous society, adding that the country has seen great accomplishments over the years. But in reflecting on those accomplishments, she says Bahamians ought to set sights on new horizons.
The most important part of nation building is raising good families, strong families that value integrity, that value good character, mutual support, respect, teamwork, and goodwill for one another. We are a people, despite of what color we wear, despite of what church we go to, despite of our differences, we know that there are more that unite us than what divides us.
The ceremony continuing in praise and thanksgiving with a word of inspiration. Pastor of Latter Days Outreach Ministry, Wendell McIntosh, says Bahamians are to be thankful for the forefathers who paved the way for the country to be where it is today.
We are not the biggest, we are not the strongest, but we are the best. God did it. Somebody to praise his name. Hallelujah. We are the greatest little nation on earth. It's better in the Bahamas. The flag is a symbol and a reminder to us of our illustrious history. Every time we see a flag, it ought to remind us that we live in a nation where we are free.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
Now, other events in recognition of independence include a service of praise at the Life Community Church on Polaris Drive, Caravel Beach at 3 p.m. on Sunday. Meantime, the Prime Minister is expected to travel to Grand Bahama to participate in celebrations at the Independence Park, Call Road on Monday evening at 7 p.m. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Don't go away. There's more news right after this break.